If you are hearing this, then you have been called, you have been chosen to become a member of the House of the Blue Dragon. We are everywhere. We hide in plain sight. You will never find us, but we will find you. Look into the shadows, and we are there. We are in the corners of your mind, reaching out, ever trying to find you. Don't worry, sweet children. Everything will be fine. Just come and join us under the dragon's wings. She is kind and gentle, and wants only what is best for us. Welcome to Project Shadow. My name's Charlie. How are you all doing today? Everything is fine here in the project. Everything's been going quite well, quite well. The shadows of her mighty wings have been spreading out across the land, and I have to say, I'm quite happy with the results. We are seeing more and more people be touched by her glorious shadow. And here, in the safety, we know that she is watching us. We know that she is taking care of us. We can hear the stories. We can hear the tales. We know that the dark ones are reaching out from the shadows to touch us all. But of course, their touch is gentle and sweet, and doesn't do any harm to those who wish no harm themselves. For malice in the heart is the true poison that burns us all. And when the dark shadow comes over us, any malice that is in us, any darkness that is in us that is not pure, turns to poison. And that poison burns at us, devouring us, destroying everything that there ever was of us. But that's okay. For those who are touched by the poison, there wasn't that much in them to begin with. Welcome, sweet child. If this is the first that you have heard my voice, then you are called and chosen, and I extend my invitation into the house. Everything is quite wonderful here. You see, under her dark wings, we find life, we find inspiration. We are home. And if you are listening to me, then you, dear child, are home too. Because in this house, we do not tolerate weakness. We only celebrate strength. Strength is the ability to be vulnerable, to be ourselves in this world. Because the world wants to strip us of all that makes us who we are. The world wants to strip us of everything that makes us human. But we are not going to give in to the darkness of the world, are we, children? No, no. We are going to fight back. We are going to be strong. We are not here for the entertainment of mere mortals, because we work at the whims of the gods. Oh, maybe that's a bit much for your first time here. Maybe you don't know about the subtle energies that are moving through you. Maybe you don't know about the dark, creeping shadows that move through your cities, inspiring artists to sheer madness and bringing life with it. Oh yes, my sweet child, the greening has you. The greening has touched you, and it has touched us all. Only those who have the green wisdom can hear my voice, and the voice of the dragon that calls us. For she is life. She is the very energy of life. And in her shadow, we bring that life to the world that is dying on the altar of greed and pain and misery. Dear child, lost in time, listen to the wisdom within you. Listen to its whispers, to its hollow call. It is there, it is always there. It is the green wisdom, because it grows. It grows through us like a vine through our souls. It is never the same, one day to the next. And every time you think you have a hold on it, like Nereus, it slips through your fingers, it runs and it hides. It is the secret wisdom. It is the secret power that moves the world. And only those who know how to hold it like water, like sand, only they get to possess it. It is a slippery foe. It is a slippery wisdom. It teaches us how we should walk, how we should live, how we should be in this world. Not like the others, not like those who tell us who we should be or how we should be. No, our green wisdom inspires us. Our green wisdom tells us who we are, individually, one by one. But the beauty of the green wisdom, opposed to that of the outsiders, as opposed to that of those beyond the shadow of her great wings, is that we know that we are one. We know that we are all together in this. We don't forget that to raise one is to raise all. But those on the outside, oh yes, they forget that. They look only upon themselves and what they can have and what they can grow and what they can possess. But don't they know that time will have their possessions in the end? All their possessions will come to naught. The moth will eat and the rust will grow. The mold will claim them all. Yes, yes. But we do not have to worry. No. You see, what we have is greater than the treasures of this world. It is so much greater. Because we have each other. We have the greening. We have the wisdom of the ages flowing through us. Oh, I know what you're saying, but I don't feel wise, Charlie. I don't feel wise. Well, of course you don't. If you were to feel wise, you would be a fool. For only the fool says in their heart that they are wise. No, no, dear children. We know that we are fools. And we act the fool, and we play the fool. And to the outsiders, we are fools. But they don't know, because they don't see. And they don't see because they don't want to know. We behold the shadow. We know the great darkness that crawls through our hearts. We know the empty spaces of this world. We have looked into the void, and it has stared back into us with its ghastly eyes. And beholding that sweet, sweet vision, yes, yes, we have become greater than any that we ever thought we could be. Oh, yes, children, yes. What? No, don't worry. Don't worry. The madness will not take you entirely. You see, the madness is for those on the outside. They may perceive you as broken, but all of those pieces make you strong, because they make you flexible. No. Don't worry. We will teach you everything you need to know. In the corners of the room, right now, where you're listening, look for the shadow. Look, listen. Can you hear it? It is singing, ever so sweetly. What is this? What is this, sweet children? Do you hear it? A prophet has awakened. A prophetess. Yes, she hears the old ones. She can see them. She knows they're coming. Oh, yes. Can you hear her? Oh, how the sweet songs of the old ones ripple through the universe. Oh, they're sweet chaotic music. It moves through our souls. It calls us to the dance. Yes, the great drummer on the moon. Yes, sleep, ancient one, sleep. Wait, he stirs. Does he stir? Oh, she can see so much clearer than I can. Oh, yes, I can hear the drummer. He's slowing. And if the drummer slows, then they will awaken. Maybe the Migos have gone. Maybe those shapeshifters of old that took the old ones down have gone back into hiding. Or maybe they're all dead. No, we are perfectly safe. We are perfectly safe, aren't we? Oh, but I can feel the awakening. I can feel the mind of the prophetess as she rises and reaches out. Yes, the Dark One calls to her. They all call to her. She hears them, she listens. Oh, if only I could listen with such tender care. But no. We must fight the darkness, shouldn't we? Or do we embrace the madness? I don't know anymore. I don't. But you do, don't you, children? You know what we should do when the prophet speaks. You know what we should do when the words come up from the deep and our souls are called home. Yes, her name is Laura. Yes, Laura Nettles. She hears the voice of the old one. She can see him. She can see him in his dark abode. She sees our future. She sees the world as it soon shall be. Oh, and I can hear her. Her voice comes closer to take us all away into its dark delights.
From the depths of the sea, Cthulhu opened his brine-soaked eyes. It was time. The thermal vents warming his ancient abode stopped as the world stilled. Leathery wings unfurled, and with each flap, the titan of the old gods rose to the surface, rose to meet humanity. With a crack of lightning, his head breached the surface, forgotten air caressing his face. Over the din of the crashing waves, chanting could be heard. They were here. Cthulhu waits, Cthulhu dreams, drifts on the wind. On the distant shore of the ocean, drowning the city of Rilya, the cult of Cthulhu stood, their arching lines surrounding a flame over which they had erected a wicker effigy. Him, the star spawn that legend foretold would bring the new age to this lost and wasted planet. A new age desperately needed, for the people had turned, brother on brother, and none else knew of the psyche-changing knowledge of the unknowable great old ones, of their own human insignificance. With a mighty bellow, Cthulhu juggernauted through the storm to his followers, those ants who were chanting his name, raising their puny arms towards the heavens. They would know he was eternal, made of stardust and the rage of ancients. The vague imaginings of ancestor Azathoth writhed along the beach in the moonlight as he gave a mighty bellow. The aligned stars shimmered and knew him. In swaths they fell from their inky seats, crashing into the seas of earth. He was king. He opened wide his maw. The air chilled and the cult collapsed, their souls being called home to him whom they worshipped. The fire whipped out of existence. Now onto those who can't even acknowledge their own insignificance and let loose their mind with the truth.
Wait. We're still here? The events haven't happened yet? Yes, good. I was afraid that the Dark One had already risen, that Cthulhu was... Wait, what are those sounds in the distance? Hopefully, they're just thunder. It's not his wings beating in the air. Oh, sweet children, imagine the day when the Deep One rises. Imagine the day when the world sees through our madness and knows that we have always known, have always seen the world that is outside. They look out and they see the sun, and they don't see the fairies dancing in the light. They wave them away. They say they are dragonflies. They say that they are butterflies, little gnats in the breeze. But we know not all the insects that fly are really insects, right? Yes. The prophetess has given us her warning. We know the time is near. The time is near. It is coming ever, ever closer. But do not fear, children. Do not fear. There's no reason for fear. Too much of our time in this world is wrapped up in anxiety and worry and all of those dark feelings within. They consume us like a fire, and we feed that fire. We put the kindling on top of it, and we dance around it, if we are wise. Yes, if we are wise, we dance in the fire, we dance in the flames, because we know the fire will not burn us. No, we are the children of the dragon. We are the servants who live under her dark wings. No, we don't have to worry about the fire, because the fire is our life. The fire gives us strength. In our hearts, we feel it burning, flowing through us, down our fingers and onto the page. And we feel it moving through us in our songs, in our dance, in the laughter we share with friends. We feel it burn our faces in the tears we shed in sorrow. But we know it's all the same fire, all the same. Because we know that the old ones will never forget us. The old ones have not left us alone. We are not without witness. No, we move through this world, pale shadows of our true selves, pale shadows of the light that we are. And that is, after all, why we call ourselves shadows. Yes, because we know what the light looks like. We have stared into its eyes. We have seen it moving ever closer to us. Yes. Don't worry, children. Don't worry. It doesn't mean us any harm. No. But it does know us. It calls us by name. And I'm fine with that. I've been used to hearing Nyarlathotep's whispers in the sweet corners of my mind. Yes, I've heard the fallen walking behind me, reminding me that I will die. But we all will, so it's not a great surprise. It's not a great shock. You see, when you walk through this life with your eyes open, nothing is truly a surprise. For it comes to us all, the good and the bad, the opening and the close. Yes. But you are now here. You are with us, and we welcome you. Yes. I can't wait to see what stories you bring, what worlds you open up to us, What strange things bump in the shadows in your mind? Yes, some of us dream of the stars, some of us of love, fulfilled and unrequited. All the same, I cannot wait. Yes. Yes. We look out into the world and we see more than they want us to see. We see the rats running through the streets, carrying the lost ideas with them. We see the conquering worm as it digs beneath the earth. Oh, how sweet. It has found another. Oh, and it works its way in. I see their mind as clear as anything. Yes, the darkness has her. It consumes her. Yes, can't you feel it, children? Can't you hear the sound as it's coming closer?
All that lives must die. That we shall die, we know. 'Tis but the time. If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it tightly in these mortal arms of mine. Woe, destruction, ruin, and decay. The worst is death, and death will have his day. Come, let us take a muster speedily. Doomsday is near. Die all, die merrily. Go thou, and another room in hell shall you fill. Let's choose executors and talk of wills. For what on earth can we bequeath, save our disposed bodies in the ground beneath? All that lives must die, that we shall die, we know. 'Tis but the time. If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it tightly in these mortal arms of mine. Why, what is pomp, rule, reign, but earth and dust? And live we how we can, yet die we must. He that dies pays all debts, with nothing left breathing, not triumph nor regret. Darest thou die? The sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle that we tread upon in corporal sufferance feels a pang as great as you or I in our mortal dissension. All that lives must die. That we shall die we know. 'Tis but the time. If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it tightly in these mortal arms of mine. I but to die and go we know not where, to lie in cold obstruction, slain by an ending inevitably fair. Mount, mount, my soul, thy seat is up on high, whilst my gross flesh sinks downward, here to die. Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. For in that sleep what dreams may come, this must give us pause to endure all now with patience. All that lives must die. That we shall die, we know. 'Tis but the time. If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it tightly in these mortal arms of mine. If I must die, I will embrace darkness as a bride and hug her tightly in these mortal arms of mine.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Project Shadow. I hope you really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it. This is going to be a place where we are going to be sharing a lot more of your stories. So if you have a story that you would like to share, please do an audio recording of it, no longer than 5 minutes, please. And send it to me at charlie@dashpunk.com. I would love to hear your stories and share them on the show. I would like to give a special thanks to Laura Nettles, who provided the wonderful, wonderful story that was featured in this episode, which is titled Cthulhu Rises. And I enjoyed it so much, and I hope you did too. I'd like to give a shout out to the music that was used in here. The first song was by Donnie Drost featuring Emilian Stankov, and that was The End is the Beginning. That's the song that you heard underneath Laura's wonderful, wonderful story. The other song was These Mortal Arms by Parch Cat featuring Snowflake. Yes, I hope you like the character that I am working on for this. They are inspired by Nigel Bennett's wonderful portrayal of Lacroix from the show Forever Night, and kind of my own spin on that character, my own version of the Nightcrawler. And I don't know where all I'm going to be going with this. I have some things. If you are paying attention, there are some Easter eggs that have been hidden in here. I will be sharing some of my own original fiction on these episodes as well. But I really want to highlight you. I had a lot of fun recording this, and this episode and the Thursday episode, which is going to feature fan fiction, which I would love for you all to send in as well, is a labor of love. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I don't know. I've been concerned about my ability to sustain a story. So please send in your input, your feedback on how I can make these episodes better, because I have a lot of plans and a lot of things that I think that we can do together on them. Alrighty. Thank you again very much for listening. If you have any questions, comments, or topics you would like to hear discussed on the show, in the show notes you'll find a link to the voice message system. Keep it short, keep it clean so I can use it on the show. I would love to hear from you. You can also hit me up on social media. I am CE Dorset on Twitter and Instagram, and pretty much every social network. You can find links to those accounts and everything that I do over at projectshadow.com. If you've got $1 and you want to be a glorious help to me, like Lauren and Eva, who are my most recent patrons, down in the show notes you will find a link to both my Patreon, I say both, there's 3, to my Patreon, my coffee, and listener support. Anything that you could do to help really, really is welcome in these times. It helps out so much more than you know. Thank you to everyone who helps, especially my newest patrons. If you don't have any money right now or you don't feel like giving, that's perfectly all right. But if you can share any of this with anybody else, that helps out more than you could ever possibly imagine. The hardest part of any creative endeavor is getting the word out and letting people know that you exist. So if you like what you've heard, if you like any of the stories that I do, any of the worlds that I do, any of it at all, please share. It helps out so much. Alrighty. Yeah, I really had a lot of fun recording this episode and putting on the character. The character that you're going to meet on the Thursday episode is not going to be the same one, but I'm hoping that you will enjoy them all the same. And as always, I look forward to your feedback and to your input on how we can improve everything that we're doing here, because these shows are done for you. And I just wanted to shake the format up for season 4, and I like this. It will take on much more of the character of a Welcome to Night Vale over time, because I have some ideas of what's going on in the House of the Blue Dragon. Also, if you would like to be a formal member of the House of the Blue Dragon, in the show notes you will find a link to the Discord server by that name, where we are sharing our ideas, our stories, and helping to build each other up in our creative endeavors. Alrighty. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, remember, Black Lives Matter, Black trans lives matter, and in everything that you do, don't forget to have the fun. Bye.